Many of the remarks that I was planning on making have been said by many of my colleagues, and so I just want to say a few things in summary, if I may. I've received emails, and I've had many conversations with people. The difference between them is the emails are one-sided, and the conversations go both ways. And I've been able to take advantage of the opportunity for those discussions to explore the things that have been said to me in the emails, and also to find out to what extent they're factual and to what extent they hold water. And predominantly, what's been repeated again and again is that we need to save our green space, that this is a land grab, that nothing should be built in Grant Park, that we shouldn't open the doors to unbridled development, that there should really be another place for this museum, and that we shouldn't violate aldermanic prerogative. I think that many of my colleagues have spoken to that, but I just want to summarize this really quickly. This is a development that does not, in my view, open up the gates to unbridled development. It is underground. It is where there's currently a parking lot, and where there is a park district facility that will be expanded and improved by what's going to be done here. It is being done in a creative fashion so that there is a lot of light that comes through. The architecture actually is quite remarkable. In every rendition that I've seen of it, and in fact is so good that it looks like they're not underground. The land is already owned by the Park District. It is part of a parking lot that needs to be repaired, so that if they weren't going to do this, they'd have to spend the money fixing it and having more parking. And clearly, at least in my view, this is a better use for it than just for cars. Does it have to be there? Of course not. Is it a good place to be? Obviously, that's a matter of opinion. Is it an opportunity to be able to do a private-public partnership and allow for a resource that many young people throughout the city use, and that now will be more accessible so more young people can use and also be able to mingle with people from all over the city and all over the world? That's the opportunity that's here, and why would we want to not do that when, in fact, the other things are not actually impacted by this? Yeah, it's a concern to make sure that we preserve our park property and to preserve our green space, but none of that is impacted here negatively. In fact, what is now ugly and above ground is going to be eliminated, and we're going to have a much prettier and better vista to be able, with more green space actually above the ground than we had before. So what's being put here is below ground. If that's a precedent, then so be it. Why is that a negative precedent? To be able to do things that we need and can bring our city together, have resources that people from throughout the city can come to and enjoy, especially our young people, in a manner that does not violate the jewel that we have along the lakefront. So I just wanted to reiterate those things because I really had heard a lot from people, and I respect the things that I've heard, and I really wanted to make sure that we were addressing them. I want to say one final thing about aldermanic prerogative. It's been stated by a few aldermen that that's not an issue, and but I know from many of my discussions that it is an issue. And I just want to remind everyone here that with the exception of the freshman alderman, I would doubt that there is a single member of this council who has not voted in violation, quote unquote, of aldermanic prerogative at one time since they've been here. We've had the votes against the downtown TIF. We've had the South Loop TIF, the expansion of the North Loop TIF that several of us voted against. We've had the vote against the zoning change for Walmart in the 37th ward, and we had the vote against the planned development that included a Walmart in the 21st ward. We've had the vote against for lights in Wrigley Field the first time that didn't include protections, that included my ward, and we had numerous other votes. I can think of several that go back to the time that Harold Washington was mayor, and when Alderman Sawyer was mayor, and when our current mayor was mayor. It has happened, not at every meeting, but it's happened, and it's almost always happened, except where sometimes it was very political, I can attest to, but most often than not, it happened because there was a debate about what was a citywide impact and what was a local aldermanic prerogative. It's a good debate. It's one that we should have often. It's one that should continue to be on the floor because we are one city, and we should act as one city when it comes to the impacts that we have both for our constituents and for others. We have to look at the impacts of our constituents and make sure that we create as many protections as possible, while also making sure that we're building one city. So, with that in mind, I do think that we live in one city with one city center, that while we are in many regards a city of neighborhoods, that we are also, the whole continues to be greater than the parts, and that our gorgeous lakefront, which continues to be our most precious resource, is for the entire city, and it's not part of a particular neighborhood. The Children's Museum will add to the beauty of that lakefront and certainly to the use of it. It will promote tourism, which we're becoming more and more dependent upon economically, and it provides much-needed educational, fun, and activities for our children. It belongs in the center of Chicago, and I will vote to place it there. Thank you.
Alderman, if you're ready. Thank you.